Hey guys, how's it going? I've been getting some pretty good feedback on these videos, so I think I'm going to keep it up. I want to make sure that I'm clear about the purpose behind doing these. I am not anti-church. I'm not trying to get people to start leaving their churches or going and trying to find this perfect place to get this information. But I also don't want people wondering and believing they only have a couple options. The gospel is the most relevant piece of information in history. And I want to make sure it's as clear as possible for you to understand. Now, I'm not a fool to believe that I'm the one that gets it, but I know how it's affected me and in which way it's affected me and in the ways it's had the most effect on me. So I want to just do the best I can to transfer that to as many people as possible. So when I refer to the church, I'm not throwing stones at the church. I'm just being honest. I pastor a church, pastor two churches actually. So it's not that I'm anti-church, I'm very pro-church, but I'm just pro-right information from the church. One of the areas of weakness, I think, is again, that we fail as a church, and I mean the church in America, is we paint the gospel as this pretty little bow to tie our problems up with. So if you're a Christian, everything's fine. You become a Christian, you get saved, or you're born again, whatever language you want to use, and maybe you get baptized, there's a ceremony, there's a big emotional experience involved, and then pretty much most people just go back to normal life. And there's not a lot of transparency. I personally believe transparency is what creates trust, and there's not a lot of trust in our groups of people. It's more like a big let's impress each other party. And there's no trust in that. There's no real, I believe you are telling me exactly who you are so I can tell you exactly who I am. And that's a big mistake to make. And the reason the gospel is so beneficial to this is the gospel allows us to let our guard down because now there's nothing to prove. The only thing we had to be worried about, sin and death, is sin, our real record, that we are not perfect, we haven't done everything right, we haven't even gotten close. But the gospel comes in and says our record's perfect now. So now we don't have anything to prove. To the only one that matters, God above, much less to the people around us. There's nothing to prove, right? So that gives us great freedom in knowing that we can let that down and just be honest. Someone catches us in a lie, we can say, you know what, I lied. I lie sometimes. I'm sorry for that. I shouldn't do that. Or if I steal, or I take something that's not mine, or I misspeak, or I gossip, it's not, how dare you question me? I mean, Jesus had to die for me. I should be questioned on everything. There's nothing perfect about me. So it allows us to let our guard down and be who we really are. Now I understand you're not supposed to walk around being transparent with everybody. I had someone explain it to me one time. They said, you're to be transparent with everybody, but you should probably only get naked with one. And so speaking of your everything about you. So I would encourage you to do that, to make sure you are in a group of people where you can be transparent, okay? And that people are going to be transparent with you. It's what you need. And also, I want to make sure we understand what the Christian life is. Obviously, I can't explain it all, but I want to give you another little snippet from my experience. I referred to the gospel not being something that we just tie our problems up with in a pretty little bow and say that's Christianity. It's not what it's intended for. And then we just kind of just push everything to the side under the title of Christianity when we're not really getting the point. And the point of the gospel is, when we become a Christian, actually, we begin an argument. It's not, everything's perfect now and every day of my life is going to be wonderful. My view to God is now perfect. He sees me as complete because of Jesus' work on the cross for me, because of His redemption. His historical death, burial, and resurrection makes me whole, makes me complete, 100%. But see, we can't really understand that, even conceive that, even believe that. There's so much mystery there. We're not God. We can't just go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It takes time, and that's when the argument begins. So our relationship with God, our relationship with the gospel is an argument because every day Matthew has an agenda, Matthew has a plan, Matthew has needs, Matthew has want, and the gospel comes in and goes, but you're free from that. You're free from that. You're free from this. You're free from this. And why are you thinking that? Why is your attitude that way? Why are you needing that again? And the gospel is saying, I'm your rescue. I'm the good news. I'm what you need. I'm what you really want. So it's an argument. It's not this, again, pretty little bow tie our problems up with. It's this beginning of an argument. But it's a beautiful argument because If we're willing to let that which is from God be the ultimate truth and not our perceived truth, you see, because God's the writer, the director, and the producer, we're just playing a very small part in the background out of 1,000 people in a huge stadium in a movie, and all this stuff is going on, and the hero comes flying through and saves the day. We're not that guy. God's not that guy. God's the guy directing everything. I just may be the guy in row 17, seat 4. And I should be completely cool with that, because God is got everything wrapped up in His bow. And we're not going to experience that yet, because everything in me, like Paul says in Romans 7, 14 through 25, is the very thing I don't want to do, I do. And I do the very thing I hate. That's the picture of the Christian life. That's an argument. It's not this easy little pop, 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 everything's great. It's a struggle. So the reason I tell you this is I want you to make sure you know that I know your life isn't easy. Whether you're a mom at home, maybe you guys are just struggling with the fact that it's going to be Monday and you don't want to go to work and do the same old, same old, same old. Whatever your struggle is, no matter where you are, what you've done, where you've been with major guilt, big shame, little shame, just wondering, what am I supposed to do with my life? Wherever you're at, please know there are people that you can be transparent with. Start looking for them. But in the process of looking, make sure you're willing to be that person too, okay? It will do you so much good. It'll give you so many opportunities to grow, and it will put you into the group of people that you're willing to learn in humility. Thanks for listening.